Are you a landlord? Have you ever had to evict a tenant? Hi, I'm Simon Dippenaar and I'm an attorney. I hope your tenancies are relatively trouble-free, but unfortunately I know that isn't always the case. Sometimes a tenant breaches the lease agreement. You follow the appropriate procedure and notify them of the breach. You give them time to remedy matters, but for whatever reason, the breach is not remedied and you need to start eviction proceedings. When this happens, it's important to adhere to the legal requirements for serving an eviction notice to tenants. If you take the right steps, your eviction notice will be legally valid. Now, what are those steps? Before serving an eviction notice, you must have valid legal grounds for an eviction. The court will only grant an eviction order if you are the owner of the property, the person occupying your property is an unlawful occupier, you have reasonable grounds to evict the occupier. I'd like to reiterate that before resorting to eviction, you must have given your tenant notice of the breach of the lease agreement and sufficient time as stipulated by law to remedy the breach. It's worth noting that an eviction notice and an eviction order are not the same thing. The eviction order comes from the court, whereas the eviction notice comes from the landlord. Now let's look at the process. An eviction notice is a formal written document you as the landlord provide to the tenant informing them they must vacate the property. It is official legal notice that you are starting eviction proceedings. The eviction notice should include the date when the notice is issued, the tenant's name and contact details, the address of the property, and the grounds for the eviction. The grounds might be non-payment of rent, violation of lease terms, illegal activities, or expiration of lease. Now, don't use language that could be interpreted as threatening or discriminatory. Be concise and specific in your notice. I can help you draw up your eviction notice and ensure it is legally sound. In South Africa, eviction notice must be served personally on the tenant or other adult residing on the property. When you serve the notice, choose an appropriate time to serve the notice when the occupant is likely to be available. Make sure the tenant acknowledges receipt of the notice. This could be by signing and drafting a copy or having a witness present at the service. Keep a copy of the notice and the proof that it has been served for your records. But what if you live in another province and you can't serve the eviction notice personally? The law allows you to use alternative methods such as registered mail, WhatsApp, email, or you could instruct someone to attach the notice to the property's main entrance. The lease agreement should indicate how legal notices need to be served. However, it is always advisable to have proof of receipt to avoid any disputes. Now, after serving the eviction notice, the tenant is entitled to a reasonable period to vacate the premises. The notice should specify the period allowed and will vary depending on the grounds for the eviction. It's advisable to consult a qualified eviction specialist such as ST Law to determine the appropriate time frame. If the tenant fails to comply with the eviction notice within the specified time, you may institute legal proceedings, i.e. apply for an eviction order. You must serve the eviction notice correctly for the eviction order to be granted by the court. By following the steps outlined above, you can ensure your eviction notice is legally valid, giving you a solid foundation for instituting legal proceedings if necessary. I strongly advise you to consult with an attorney to initiate the eviction process correctly. I will guide you through the necessary steps, including filing an eviction application in court, and I will represent you during the legal proceedings. If you need help with an eviction or any aspect of rental housing, give me a call on the number in the signature below.